So we're all here at this summit. We were just at the end of day one, and we want to learn, we develop, and to grow. And for many of us, this isn't our first summit experience or any conference like this. We usually listen to some wonderful speakers, we meet some great people, and we come back with some incredible ideas. You know, Dave said earlier to bring back 25 ideas that you're going to action into your business or in your life. Now, we take those ideas, and some of us bring them back, and we implement those ideas. And some of us bring those ideas back, and we implement none of them. So why is that? What stops us? What stops us from taking an idea that when we are here, we believe it to be an incredibly impactful idea on our business or on our lives, and then we leave it on the shelf? There could be many reasons, of course, but the one that I want to talk to you today, the one that I think will help you get to the next level, is fear. And this is maybe where the trapeze story comes in, because it's not just about fear, it's about being fearless. So before we go there, I want to introduce you to what I refer to as the growth zone. Some of you may have seen this image before. And with this image, the beginner, the middle starts with a comfort zone, right? When we're in the comfort zone, we love this place, right? It is warm, it is cozy, it is dry. It is also where we are the most confident because it's comfortable. And on the outside of this ring is the danger zone. And the danger zone is a place that is incredibly painful for most of us to go to, very uncomfortable, and for some of us, the very thought of the danger zone prevents us from ever leaving the comfort zone. So I want to introduce you to the middle rung, which is the growth zone. And that's the spot where it's a little uncomfortable for you to go, right? You can still see your comfort zone. But when you go there and you do the thing, it expands you and helps you grow personally and professionally. So for the rest of the summit, if you haven't been there already, and certainly in the session today, please consider this an invitation to play around in your growth zone. So back to fear. And I'd like to clarify that I don't mean fear as in a phobia, you know, like of spiders or loud noises. A different kind of fear. So typically, when I ask people to define fear, they give me answers like, you know, it's an intense emotion that prevents me from taking action, or being extremely worried about an outcome, judgment, or situation. Sometimes people give me those acronyms. I'm sure you've all heard those before. False expectations appearing real, or forget everything and run. So let's stop for a moment and ask the question, how amazing would it be if that fear was removed? So fear is often a sign that you believe that you need something. You believe it to be true. Maybe it's because you think you need more time, more money, more information, more experience, or maybe that you're not enough. Fear often shows up when one of or two of these things are present, that we seek validation of our product, of our service, of ourselves. I mean, how many of us want our prospects, clients, colleagues, and our team to like us? How many of us want our prospects and clients to like us more than the other guy? When we're talking about scarcity, how full is your pipeline? And what is the quality of the accounts that are in your pipeline? For leaders, is the scarcity of the candidate market preventing you from having a necessary but difficult conversation with one of your team members? How many of us have not called the decision maker because we knew they were higher up on the org chart than where we were, or felt that we needed to start at a lower part in the org chart than what we knew we needed to do? How many of us have not done a particular activity that we knew would make a difference in our business? For some people, maybe that's cold calls. For others, that's video emails. Is there a previous client that you know you would like to have back on your roster, but you're afraid to call them because you don't know what their reaction is going to be? How many of us have not pursued a promotion or a growth opportunity simply because we didn't connect with a mentor or someone we knew who could help us put us on that path? So, what if I told you that being fearless was an approach you could take instead of a quality that someone possesses? So this word, the shuggle, I have, it's one of my coaches, she's from Scotland, so she uses this word, and it really just means to shake up, right? And I'm going to ask you a question here that I hope will give you a bit of a shuggle. And for those of you who have a notebook in front of you, you might want to write this down and reflect on it later. That means write it down and reflect on it later. So, when I am feeling fear, when I am feeling like I need something, am I operating at the highest level? Am I operating in a way that my future self would be proud of? Am I being authentic? Or am I letting fear get in the way? Am I operating at the highest level, or am I letting fear hold me back? I want to introduce you to this model called the Ladder of Consciousness by a gentleman named Steve Chandler. And it's a wonderful model because it talks about the emotions that we operate in from fear all the way up to love. We'll start at the bottom with fear, right? It is our lowest grade emotion. Next up is anger. Anger is always caused by fear. Fear of loss, fear of change, fear of judgment. And then we get into worry, which I believe is a misuse of imagination. There are very few situations where worrying about anything serves us in any capacity. Resentment is the next rung on that ladder, also a place where I think we waste time and energy. And then we get into what I call the fun emotions, right? The top half of this ladder. We get into courage and acceptance, or what some people call feel the fear and do it anyway. We get into inquiry, creativity and inspiration, and of course, enlightenment and love. Now, it's my opinion that when you are working directly with people, whether that is prospects, clients, your team, colleagues, your community, and presuming you'd like to do it successfully, it requires a lot of curiosity, inspiration, creativity, and a whole lot of love. I know, I just said love. Is that weird for a business conference, right? Professional, when I say love, of course, what I mean here is having a professional affection for your product or service, your customers, and maybe your customers' customers, and of course your team. All of those emotions are at the top of the ladder. So being fearless is an approach, not a quality. Now, perhaps some of you are thinking, okay, Steph, I got it. Yep, I resonate with this fear thing that you keep talking about. I even love that you're talking about becoming fearless. How do I do that? What is the next step? How do I move up this ladder?
Thank you for watching this highlight video from the Sandler Summit. You can join us for the next Sandler Summit in 2024, March 19th and 20th at the Orlando World Center Marriott. Register now at sandler.com/summit.